This kitten was trapped between a building in unbearable heat until an unlikely rescuer found him. In the summer of 2016, it seemed that the whole world was talking about the cell phone game Pokémon Go. And while the augmented reality game certainly divided opinion, there was no denying that it had its positives. In a bid to catch them all, players on a quest to collect cute creatures were exploring their local neighborhoods and making all kinds of discoveries. Not least of all, one real-life little kitten in desperate need of help. One fan of the game was Reddit and Imgur user Joel Meetup TG. One hot summer's day, the gamer was out scouring the streets of his hometown in Porto Alegre, Portugal, in search for all the Pokemon that he could find. Even the 100-degree Fahrenheit heat couldn't put him off his quest. However, something did stop him in his tracks that day. As he was walking along the blistering streets, the student heard a strange noise. At first, he thought that it might be a bird, but there weren't any around. Intrigued, he decided to investigate. That's when he made an awful discovery. There, wedged between an electrical post and the wall of a building, was a tiny kitten. The little animal was so weak that it could barely muster up the strength to cry out for help. It was hanging only by its head, he wrote in a January 2017 Imgur post. We have no idea how the hell did it get in that situation. It must have been there for a long time since it barely had the energy to cry. Its mouth was wide open. It did not close it. I only knew it was alive by its cry for help. The ginger kitten needed help, and soon. The scorching heat was pounding down on the helpless animal, who could do nothing to escape. If left there much longer, he would surely die. So without a moment to lose, Joel Meetup TG phoned the fire service. They quickly arrived on the scene. However, when the emergency services got there, the kitten had fallen silent. Although they feared that the cat had already died, the team decided to prod the lifeless body with a stick, just to be sure. Thankfully, the baby managed to let out a cry to tell his would-be rescuers that he was, in fact, still alive. Now the firemen set to work on trying to free the stuck animal. First, they tried using oil and a stick to prise the kitten out, but he was well and truly stuck. The rescue team was then left with little choice but to attempt to move the electrical box and free the cat. After getting permission from the local police, the firemen cordoned off the scene. The operation, however, was not going to be straightforward, as there was a risk that they could cause an electrical explosion if any error was made. But despite their tools, expertise, and best efforts, the team simply couldn't budge the post. The team were now becoming so desperate that they decided to call the company which owned the electrical box. After a half-hour wait, an employee arrived, but having opened up the post, he discovered that there was nothing he could do to move the box from the inside. With no other options left, the firemen decided to give their tools another try. Finally, just as the sun was setting, the firemen managed to break the kitten free. The firemen stood in that place with 100-degree heat for 3 hours to save a cat's life. Joel Meetup TG wrote on Imgur, I'm so glad I had the luck of having these firemen to help. Some other type of people might not be willing to do it and just let the cat die. The question now was what to do with the little kitten. Joel Meetup TG's mom agreed to take the animal home for one night before taking him to a shelter. And it's safe to say that the family weren't exactly head over heels about the new furry friend. It wasn't friendly at all, explained Joel Meetup TG. Indeed, the Pokémon Go fan went on to say, it hissed at us if we tried to approach it. It looked like a mad rat. Hostilities aside though, the family nevertheless came upon a name for the creature, as Joel Meetup TG elaborated. My father started calling it Spock because of those big ears. And despite his prickly demeanor, the family did everything they could to care for the little kitten. They bathed him, fed him milk with a syringe, and Joel Meetup TG's mother even picked out Spock's numerous fleas. Eventually, they became so attached to the little cat that they decided against sending him to a shelter. 4 months on from his rescue, and Spock was completely unrecognizable. The orange fur ball now had grown into his unique ears, and according to Joel Meetup TG, he was the most beautiful cat they'd ever seen. And although the cat had initially been wary of his new human housemates, Spock got on swimmingly with the family's other 2 cats and pet dog. So, given his dislike of people, Joel Meetup TG's mom and dad left the feline to his own devices when the gamer was away at college. As he explained, my parents don't care much about him. They have other stuff to do than try to tame a feral cat. So on returning home from studying, he decided to start socializing Spock properly. Finally, over the 2016 Christmas holidays, Jalal Meetup TG made a breakthrough. Spock agreed to be petted. And what's more, he apparently enjoyed it. It took a long time to make him trust me, Jalal Meetup TG revealed on Imgur. Right now, I can say that I'm the only person in this house to pet Spock. I fell in love with this cat. He's so beautiful. Look at his pink paws, he went on to gush. However, it seemed little Spock had a naughty side. Now he won't stop trying to rob my pens away while I study in my bed. And he also has some kind of unhealthy desire to steal socks. However, despite his mischievous nature, Jalal Meetup TG and his family are smitten with their little kitten. As Jalal Meetup TG concisely summarized on Imgur, found a dying cat while playing with Pokémon Go, saved him, he was ugly, turned out to be beautiful. I'm in love with him. Jalal Meetup TG and Spock's amazing story has since gone viral. In less than a week, photographs of the kitten's predicament and subsequent rescue have been viewed more than 450,000 times on Imgur. And it's not hard to see why. Their tale shows amazing kindness and dedication. Well, little Spock is surely the most precious thing anyone has found while playing Pokémon Go.